Jonathan Warshay.
These individuals, including members of West Bloomfield's police and fire departments, ran into the unknown to protect and defend the lives of children and adults inside the building.
Over 100 were treated for smoke inhalation. LA Mayor Karen Bass and Spencer Pratt skipped Monday night's mayoral debate as expected. The forum featured Nithya Raman, Ray Hyung, and Adam Miller, hosted by housing and transit advocates. Mayor Bass cited a scheduling conflict. And NBA YoungBoy is covering funeral costs for Black 10-year-old Kimani Thomas, who was accidentally shot in a Baton Rouge, Louisiana Sonic parking lot. Her mother thanked the rapper publicly, saying she's grateful for his support during the family's tragedy. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Watch us on Facebook Live. Then hear us on WBOK1230.com.
Yo, turn it up. It's Gerod on the air, spitting truth in the booth. We ain't going nowhere. New Orleans City got us hard in the beat, but corruption creeping in, gotta take back the street. But corruption creeping in, gotta take back the street. From the French Quarter vibes to the Ninth Ward grind, he's the voice of the people, yo, he's one of a kind. Talking about the struggle, the hustle, the pain, but with each word he drops, he's bringing power to the game. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Try to silence the truth, but he's loud and clear. From the bayou to the block, everyone can hear. Got the people united, it's a movement, no doubt. With his mic in hand, he's breaking all the clout. City eat the official scheming, yeah, they playing it slick. But Gerod's on the line and he's ready to kick. For the schools and the streets, he's fighting the fight. With a heart full of passion, he's igniting the night. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. From the jazz in the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerod on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. In the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerod on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Yeah, tuning out, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul.
Go ahead. Yeah. Say what you said a minute ago.
Yeah.
Say what you told me a minute ago. Say it.
That you couldn't find that even for some banging.
No. I'm talking about that expletive that you called me a minute ago.
Oh, you just want me to say expletive on the air. Why would you want me to do that? You want me to do it? I'm going to say it.
Don't
expletive.
say it. Don't say it.
No, I didn't. Expletive. There it is. What's going on, good people? It is Wednesday, over the hump day. I had to think about what day it was. It is pre-get down day. You know tomorrow is the official day.
Hump day.
No. Tomorrow is the official day. Official celebration day. Tomorrow's a birthday.
Oh, whatever. I got to answer the phone.
He said, oh, whatever.
He's such a hater.
Oh, my goodness. The oh, whatever came so quickly.
Hater. Straight up hater. It is the reality check with yours truly, Gerard Stevens, but the attorney extraordinaire is in the building, y'all. Suzette Bagnaris is
How
in
y'all
here.
doing?
What's going on with you?
Busy?
You've been busy all day.
That's all. Just busy. That's it.
I had to tell him, we not playing over there. This is you hit when you walk through the door, you working. You got stuff to do. Things to be seen. Things to be filed. I can keep going. I'm just waiting for you to stop me.
No, because all of that is accurate. All of that is accurate. But we are here. We are here. We made it on time. We got in the chair in time.
Yeah.
According
Ready
to
to
Gerard, he has jobs
Jobs.
and
He's a
assignments.
very busy man.
I got assignments from the assignment editor.
And I'm not going to say he does it without complaint, because clearly he does it with complaint.
I don't have no
But
complaints.
he's doing them. He's doing them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have none.
Time's out, huh?
None whatsoever. It's actually a lot of learning. It's a lot of learning. So I really appreciate it.
It is a big learning curve, but he's doing very well. Doing very well.
So several things happened. I want to thank everybody that called, and I don't know. I didn't know if I was that bad yesterday. I was.
And you were having a real tough time. Both you and Wick had a very rough time yesterday.
I'm still getting calls today.
Yeah, it was a rough.
I got a lot
it
of
was a rough
calls.
day.
I got a lot of calls last night and today.
My
you
phone
know.
didn't stop last night.
I mean,
Facebook and phone.
A lot of people calling me today. I was like, "Why y'all calling me like that?" And they were like, "Are you okay? Are you better?" Nobody called just to say, "Man, I'm just sorry." Da da da. They were calling with that, yes, but they were calling to say, "Are you okay?" So I was like, "Was I that bad yesterday?"
Man, Trina called me all upset.
Yeah, I think Trina
was
called me last
upset.
night, but I hadn't been to sleep in 24 hours. So the minute that I got home, I sat down on the chair, and I don't even remember nothing else. I was out all night and didn't wake up until late this morning. I was just not, that just took me out a little bit. So, but we back. We still remember our friend. We still remember our brother. For those of you that don't know, our friend Jazz, our working companion, our friend, our brother Jazz, who was here for so many years, passed day before yesterday. And that's why we're talking about yesterday being that all of us can't believe it. Only what, 51 years old?
Yeah.
51? Yeah.
Going too soon.
So we
Earned his
remember
way.
him, and as soon as we get some more information, we will let everybody know what the services are, what we gonna plan, what's gonna happen. So we'll let you know. All right. I gotta say hello to the ladies over at Mahalia Jackson Head Start, TCA, where Miss French. Hey, Miss French. They were so kind to let us put together the Easter baskets for them. We also want to thank Mr. Hampton.
Yes.
From
so
Hampton
Ham's
Construction.
Absolutely. Gave a donation towards the candy for the children for the Easter baskets. We really appreciate it.
And we also want to thank the ladies over at what's the Head Start? I walked in there and talked to that lady for such a few minutes.
It's
and
the Head
talked to her.
Start on Jackson Avenue across the street from our office.
Yeah, so we need to thank them too, because we're going to also be there on the 31st.
So altogether, we're now at about 300 Easter baskets we'll be distributing between First Pilgrims Baptist Church,
Yep.
the Head Start across the street from the office,
And Mahalia Jackson.
Mahalia Jackson.
And it's not too late. If you all want to donate candy, bring the candy. Bring it with you. We ain't got to buy it. If you want to write a check, that's fine. Write it to the law firm, and we'll go get it. But we can also appreciate the fact that you all want to go and get the candy and bring it to us. We appreciate
Blessing
that too.
so many children
Yep.
this Easter season.
And we got over what? We're at 300 right now.
We're at 300. We have about 500 we can do.
Yep.
So just let us know if there's some place you would like us to come to bless the children this Easter season.
Yep, that is true. And that's coming up. We're going to do that on the 31st.
Yes, on Tuesday.
Tuesday
Next week.
of next week. You may be there,
I know the baby's getting ready to
but
come.
you may
y'all.
not be
Right.
there.
The doctor said baby is head down, ready to come. So I am just waiting to get the call. The minute I get the call, I am in Houston.
Every time we mention that baby, your face light up.
Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait. Can't wait to meet him.
So you're going to be in Houston for a while. So we need to let folks know that, you may not be able to be a part of the show being in Houston unless I can technologically hook something up that you want to be a part of the show. So you're going to be gone for at least, 3 weeks?
For 3 weeks.
At least 3 weeks. And that's coming. That is coming. Grandma. What you going to call yourself?
I'm Mimi.
I saw you roll your eyes at me when I said grandma.
Yeah, I'm Mimi.
What's a Mimi?
It's a grandmother, but, it's a cool grandmother. A Mimi. And Emil is G. Just G.
Just straight up G. Yes, indeed. And the baby's name?
The baby's name is Christian Laurent White.
Laurent.
Laurent. Like Lauren, but with a T.
Laurent White. And she ready?
She is more than ready.
That TikTok that she was sending out was hilarious.
Oh, yeah. She's more than ready. Well, she's been working 12-hour shifts at 3 hospitals since she has been pregnant the entire time. So she is ready.
I was waiting for the rest of it. She was stepping. I mean, doing the
At the wedding, she was
the divine
strolling.
nine and strolling.
She was dropping it like it was hot. She
Yes.
was doing all those things. I think that's why he is ready.
Yes.
Early.
He probably going, what the hell is going on up
What
in
is
here?
going on up in here? Exactly. Exactly.
But that's going to be beautiful. I know it's going to be an emotional time for you as well.
Very
Your baby
excited.
having a baby.
My baby girl is having a baby.
Yes, indeed. Well, we always want to be able to say that we saying prayers that everything is going to be good, which we already know that it is, and we can't wait to see the baby too. So there it is. Some of the news stuff that is happening here on the local scene. I know we got stuff on the national scene.
Yeah.
The local scene, I'm really going to put this one out here, and I want you all to pay attention because I got questions. And my questions, I don't think, are off key to some of the questions that you may have too. Well, what you talking about, G? My questions are, why is Entergy asking the city council to give them another rate hike so that they can put the grid together or show up the grid? I thought that's what the first money was for. And as a matter of fact, that first money was supposed to be a loan. Why are they coming back again and asking for another rate hike? In a minute, all utilities are going to be costing too much.
Well, they're trying to outprice people from living here. So they're saying that the fuel costs are higher, natural gas spikes. Entergy says it gets about 2/3 of its power from natural gas. When gas prices spike, like during a winter storm, like during this war we're in, Entergy passes those fuel costs directly on to the customers. This is a big driver of the bill increase. They're also citing 2 hurricanes, ice storms, and grid damage that cost millions to repair. Utilities ask regulators to help them to recover those costs. So we, the taxpayer, are going to be paying for repairs, upgrades, and storm hardening. They're also blaming grid updates and reliability. Entergy argues it needs to modernize the grid, prevent outages, and ask for add backup generators. And they framed the hikes as keeping the lights on. And utilities are allowed to earn a regulated profit. Rate hikes often include higher base rates, guaranteed returns for shareholders. And this is where critics, push back on that the hardest.
So one of the things that I will bring up, and I know that this can be done because many other utilities across the country do it. And I know they do it because this was a conversation that we had prior, that a lot of these utilities need to have storage containers. These storage containers should be million gallon storage containers that can hold this amount of fuel, and they need to buy it during off-peak timing. Many of these utilities up north buy their oil, gas, or whatever their regulations are. They usually buy it off-peak and store it so they don't have to come and ask for higher wages or rate hikes during their peak seasons. They already have the gasoline, natural gas, or whatever runs their equipment. That would cut down on them coming to us trying to get all of this money and blame it on, well, rate hikes. How many rate hikes can you have when you keep trying to tell me at the same time that you're shoring up this utility that's supposed to be our power?
But the problem for me is that every time I turn around, the power's out.
So
the power's out at my house, the power's out at my office.
But here you go. Entergy New Orleans reported 304,178 customer interruptions in 2025. That is up roughly 250,000 interruptions in 2024, and the most since 2017. But you keep telling me that you're shoring up the grid. How do you shore up the grid and the power keeps going out? The utility is seeking council approval to raise customer fees to pay for $400 million worth of work to harden the electricity grid. It is also expected to request a rate increase later this year. And I'm looking at the folks online. They keep saying the same thing. Everything's up. Garbage is up. Joe Kennedy says that the electricity's up, garbage up, the water bill up, property taxes up. But we are not getting any type of pay increases.
It's also a tough bill to swallow when the CEO of Entergy's total compensation is between 15 to 20 million per year.
Mm-hmm.
Base salary 1.5 to 2 million, but with bonuses and stock incentives 15 to 20 million per year. Other top executives like the CFO, presidents, and senior vice VPs earn 3 million to 8 million per year.
And what they do? They senior VP. And what else?
The senior VP, the CFO, and presidents. That's what they earn. So that total pay includes salary, performance bonuses, stock awards. So while it's all not in cash, it's still wealth tied to company performance.
Mm-hmm.
And let's connect this to what we're experiencing. Customers are facing higher utility bills, outages at a 9-year high, and they're asking for a rate increase. That's a public perception problem.
So I guess
you're raising rates, and your executives are making millions.
And the other thing too that I would ask, and this I'm gonna put on the city council. I know that at large council Matthew Willard and also council member Amy McCarron, they are questioning these folks about these rate hikes, Entergy executives. But my question is not, are you questioning them about the rate hikes? My question is, why aren't we doing the same thing that you're doing to the Sewage and Water Board? You're asking the Sewage and Water Board to come up with a plan to fix these leaks. Come up with a plan. I have not heard one official say, what's the plan to keep my energy rate hike down so you don't have to take these rate hikes up? We already have too many people to say, I can't pay for energy, and I have to make a decision on whether I'm going to eat, whether I'm going to have power or water. I have to make a decision on which one I'm going to have because it costs too much. So why aren't we asking, and you're the regulator of the utility, so we need to be asking them the same thing. What's your plan? Not shoring up the grid. Shoring up the grid happened 3-4 years ago, and it's apparent to me that it's not shored up because of the fact that we got 250,000 more interruptions than we did in 2024.
You know, the cost of living in New Orleans is getting too high. And it's not getting too high slowly. It's getting too high all at once.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're dealing with an increase in everything right now. And it is kind of hard to bear when the salaries aren't going up, when the pay per hour is not going up. To see these increases in rent, insurance costs, property taxes, groceries, gas, basic necessities going up.
And then you say there was a performance pay.
Yeah, it's linked to the performance. Their bonuses are linked to performance.
I really think that those officials should be based upon their performance, and that's it, how you get paid. Meaning, how are you saving us dollar bills? How are you making sure that we are taken care of? And one of the things I will tell you this is having a conversation one-on-one with Dr. Calvin Mackey. Dr. Mackey came up with a great idea, and he said, gee, I really didn't come up with this idea. This was something that has been done and has been done in different places. So we saw in New Orleans probably, 3, 4, 5 years ago, that everybody in certain areas of New Orleans that owns a home was having these discounted solar panels put on their roofs. It was a 20-year agreement. You could have it discounted where federal aid would pay for it, and they put those solar panels on your roof. You would have the ability to have the batteries and everything storing power for you. I thought it was disingenuous, and bear with me on this because I'm going to have to talk about this in layman terms. I thought it was disingenuous for the power company to also agree, yes, you should have these solar panels put on your home, and then you'll be able to use that power, and we'll buy it back from you. Well, as you do a little research, what you find out about this buying back the power, the stored power that you got from the sun, is that power off of that battery may be valued at what? Let's say 50 cents a kilowatt. The company, Entergy, would buy it back from you at 35 cents. So they were actually buying it back cheaper than what it was really worth. And I thought that was very disingenuous. Calvin Mackey says, hey, this is how it's supposed to be set up. How it's supposed to be set up is the fact that you have an off-on switch that cuts on and off between the power lines and the battery that stores your electricity. So there should be a cutoff switch that automatically cuts off when you have enough power stored up in your batteries to run your house. So you're not using your utility at all during certain times of the day. And that's not how this is set up at all. So we don't have that option. But I think it should be set up that way. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll take a break here. 504-582-9422 to get your comments in, and we'll take a break here, and we'll come back and have some more conversation in just a minute, y'all.
Hey, this is D. Riley from the 90s Hits R&B Jams. Make sure you listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday night from 7 until 9 p.m. I'll be giving you the best R&B jams from the 90s. That's right, all your favorites and more. With me, D. Riley, your host of the 90s Hits, right here on WBOK 1230 AM, or listen online at WBOK1230.com. WBOK, the station you listen to longer. Listen to longer.
Come celebrate the history, legacy, and culture of the African diaspora with the Congo Squares Rhythm Festival presented by the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation on March 28th and 29th in Louis Armstrong Park. Don't miss 2 full days of live musical performances featuring Chawa, Zigaboo Modaliste, Big Sam's Funky Nation, and many, many more. A variety of food vendors, handmade works of art, and the return of the highly anticipated Class Got Brass competition. This event is free and open to the public. For more information, visit CongoSquareRhythms.com.
New Orleans is built to host, and at the New Orleans Ernest N. Memorial Convention Center, it is where big ideas, major events, and careers come together under one roof. As the 6th largest convention center in the country with a team recognized as a national top workplace, we are proud to power the events that keep our city moving forward. Our staff of more than 450 brings nearly 3,900 years of combined experience, an average of almost 9 years each. If you're looking for a robust benefits package, career stability, and opportunity, visit mccno.com to explore open positions today.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping Seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub-to-shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. Here's how it works. 1. Call to schedule your free, no-obligation consultation. 2. Our design experts come to you with real samples to customize your dream bath. 3. Our certified installers complete the transformation in as little as 1 day. And right now, for a limited time, you can upgrade your bathroom for 50% off installation or choose 18 months with no interest and no payments. But you need to call now. This special offer is only available by calling 800-981-8177. That's 800-981-8177. Call 800-981-8177 right now before the offer ends.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you. Look at your face. Just look at your face.
I have no comment.
Suzette Bagdaris in the building.
So Entergy has filed its request for a new rider fee in December and estimated it would cost customers around $1 per month in 2027 and $3.28 per month in 2028. It's unclear how much of those costs would rise after that.
What is a rider fee?
I don't know. That's something we need to investigate.
I mean, if you look at your bill, and I would say not only just look at your power bill, but look at your water bill, look at your power bill. What else goes along with that? I mean,
it's an extra charge added to your bill on top of your normal rate to pay for a specific cost. Instead of raising your base rate all at once, Entergy can add a separate line item on your bill called a rider, tie it to a specific purpose, collect money over time, and think of it as a targeted surcharge. A rider fee usually pays for infrastructure upgrades, storm recovery costs, fuel adjustment costs, special projects.
Had the fees that I have on a bill, I have no idea what they are. And for them to be able to ask, even your cell phone bill, with all these different charges on your cell phone bill, I got to tell you, I'm not convinced that some of these fees are just to be loading you up with fees to go along with your bill. Stick with the bill and let's get it done.
Well, let me hit you with this. That performance bonus
right.
that the top brass gets is tied to company profits and revenue growth. So they don't get money for saving the consumer money. They get a bonus based upon the profitability of the company. So when the rates go up and the profits increase, the bonuses are tied to that.
So if I work for you, why wouldn't I want to make sure that you're paying an exorbitant charge? Because I'm going to get a bonus for it.
You're getting a bonus for it, yeah. As stock prices increase and there are more returns to investors, and the company profits grow and the revenue increases, the top brass at Entergy receive performance bonuses.
What kind of job, if you had to do A, B, C, D, or F? What is it? A, B, C, D, or F? Would you put this corporation under? Listen, I'm not one to sit up here and just haggle about what they do, how they do it, because I'm not an employee, and I don't try to say that I am going to be at a point in time, and I don't have no contracts with them. But what I am trying to tell you is now is not the time to keep saying, oh, we need another increase. We need a rate hike. You know that this city is under a whole lot of scrutiny. We're talking about folks getting furloughed. Mm-hmm. We're talking about folks losing their jobs altogether because of a change of an administration. We're talking about folks that's looking to say they got to rob Peter to pay Paul. And you're talking about a rate hike. And we sitting up there trying to make sure that we don't flood out because we got all of these water mains broken. I think your timing sucks.
The Sewage and Water Board's talking about increasing your bills. Garbage collection is talking about increasing your bills. Entergy's talking about increasing your bills. The mayor is talking about adding taxes. This is getting to be a bit much.
And they wonder why the numbers as far as the people that live in New Orleans Parish,
are decreasing.
They decreasing instead of increasing.
School enrollment is going down.
Right. Why do you think they're shutting down the schools? They're shutting down the schools and combining them because we're losing enrollment because families are getting up and saying, we can't stay here no more. We out. We don't want to stay here because we out. The utilities are too high. The cost of living is too high. We got to go. We're going to a area of town where you don't have as much political crap going on. But this thing
and you can get more services.
Yes.
For less money.
Yes.
Or more services for the same money, but it's more services.
Right.
We seem to be getting less services, but paying more for them.
And I'm getting to the point now where I'm looking around and saying, is it that time, or is it that y'all are trying to take back this city?
Oh, I think that's what it really is.
They're taking back the city.
Yeah, that's what it is.
If I charge you more, at some point in time, you'll start looking at it and say, time for me to go.
Right.
And then somebody else that don't look like you gets your property or gets into the position where they want to live where you used to live. At some point in time, it goes back down. I've now made the entire city brand spanking new. I got a new water system. I've got all the folks that can afford these things because we done, what do they call it?
Gentrified.
Yeah, gentrified it. But I guess my question is, you have to think about this utility. What are they doing to shore up what they call shoring up the utility? What does that involve?
Well, what they're saying they're doing is they're going to increase the technology. They're going to get ready for storm preparedness. I mean, these are the things they're saying they're going to do.
You believe it?
No, because my power keeps going out.
Right. And then the other part of that, they said they're going to start getting all these different generators. Now in Metairie, which is not the power, I guess more so than anything else, it's not Energy New Orleans, but it's Energy statewide. The company that handles energy for Metairie, which would be Energy Louisiana, has started taking the generators and putting them on the big buildings.
Look, I told y'all, I live in a neighborhood where a lot of the top brass of Entergy resides.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them have generators on their homes. So when the power goes out, they don't feel it. Within 2 seconds of the power going out, the generator kicks on and they've got full power to their house. Like they haven't lost power at all.
Nothing.
So if the top brass at Entergy has $16,000 to $20,000 generators on their 8,000 to 10,000 square foot homes, and they're not missing a beat when the power goes out, what does that say?
Somebody knows something that we don't.
Somebody knows something that you don't know.
All right, let's see. Sister V, how you doing?
Good evening, family. Suzette and brother Gerard.
How you doing?
Now, I'm from the old school. I'm doing wonderful compared to yesterday. I had 2 appointments, but I'm really good today. But I'm listening to y'all. Now, I live over here in New Orleans East, and I kind of inherited my parents' home and everything. And the crows are talking to me now. The roosters are talking to me now out here. You know, all of this helium balloons and all this kind of stuff that fool with the power and all of that. So if they could get rid of families that engage in those activities using the power where the helium balloons, when we were coming up, non-existent. We just had the little 1-cent balloons, you know, you blow them one breath.
Are you talking about the Mylar balloons?
Yes. Yes. So that's another thing to consider. So believe me, people that have children, school age or whatever, those people are not caring about whether or not they move to another city or whatever like that. Because for one thing, we're going to eventually go underwater down here below sea level. I don't mean to scare nobody, but we already know we below sea level. So everybody in their cousins got relatives that live out of state now. So we all have places that we can go. That's all I have, children.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms. V.
Okay.
I appreciate
You're so
you.
welcome.
All right, dear.
Yes, sir.
I just think that everybody has a choice. Everybody has a choice of where they want to live. That's number one. But when I see that the population, and let me tell you something, Sister V, and this is not to go against what you said, but when I see the population changing as far as the demographics are concerned, it makes me ask the question, what's really going on? Then later on, you start hearing Return to Splendor. That was the article that was written, right after Katrina. Then you start hearing gentrification.
Seeing it.
Right. And I'll never forget when I left from over at, I used to do the morning show over on social media, and I used to do it over at a location, which was Lil Dizzy's. And I was talking to the folks over there, and they were like, man, you ain't gonna believe this. I said, what's happening? I said, the population for the Treme is changing. I said, what are you talking about? It says a history of Treme being like one of the largest black neighborhoods for well off. Everybody's pretty much well off. They own their homes or they're in their homes, and it's the largest black neighborhood in the country. But it's changing. I said, what do you mean? Said people are coming into the neighborhood to buy up the properties, which is raising the amount for the homes. So black people don't have that type of money, cannot get those type of loans. And what you're seeing is the folks are being gentrified. The gentrification happened in the Treme. Well, where else has it happened? I started looking uptown. And I'll never forget, I was standing in one of the rooms, sitting there talking to Linda Lewis in her office, right off of Jackson. And I saw this lady walking down the street with bags.
Well, you've been seeing it now that you're at the office.
Yep.
You know, all of Jackson Avenue is changing. It's Algiers is changing. Lakeview is changing.
New Orleans East.
New Orleans East is changing. Gentrification has been happening here since Katrina. Because now I'm living between New Orleans and Houston, I think one of the reasons that we're seeing these hikes that we have no control over is New Orleans is served mainly by Entergy, and it's a regulated monopoly. The people here in New Orleans have no real choice of provider.
Now I'm talking about Houston.
Now I'm going to tell you about that. Rates are set here by the city council. The city council is the regulator of Entergy. And cost here in New Orleans includes storm recovery, infrastructure upgrades, and a fuel pass-through. Now, let me tell you about Houston. Houston operates in a deregulated market. Customers there can choose from multiple retail electric providers.
Right.
just purchased a home there, and immediately after purchasing the home, you get notices in your mailbox telling you can choose from this company or that company or the other company. So because there's that competition among multiple retail electric providers, you get to pay less than you would pay here in New Orleans. Power is still delivered in Houston by CenterPoint Energy, but prices vary based upon competition and contract terms. So the typical cost comparison is, is that energy is much lower in price in Houston than it is in New Orleans. So maybe we need to think about not having a monopoly of one company providing energy here in New Orleans.
Yep. All right, Dono.
What's happening, my brother?
What's going on with your big money?
Yeah, we gave them two increase and they never did anything. They gave them an increase after the last two storms, and the last storm, the major line fell out. They were supposed to had done some work on that line, on the whole system.
That's why we got the terminology of, we're gonna sum up the grid. We're gonna do this to the grid. I'm like, okay.
They never did it.
Nope.
I mean, they just got the money line and said they were gonna do the work. And now this time they're doing the work they should have been doing 4 years ago.
Well, the biggest problem I got with that part of it, though, Donald, is the fact that we got this money, I think over $200 million, tied up into what energy is supposed to be doing because they borrowed it from us. The question is, when do y'all pay it back? When do y'all pay it back? And you're coming back for another rate increase, and you haven't begun to pay back the $200 million we lent you? Did we give it to you, or did we lend it to you?
No, but I'm talking about we gave them some money to do some increase, and they never did the increase. Okay, they never did the increase, and I'm not for the city council giving no $3 nothing. It's gonna end up being more than $3. They try to run people out the city like they'd say, but gentrification is going on all over the city of New Orleans. These people coming from California, and they're upping the price of the value of their houses. They're paying the money that these real estate companies are putting out, and they're coming from California. California. The houses we got from our houses cost $300,000, cost millions of dollars. So they coming in and buying the property and running the price up.
Well, I don't think too that you should be a regulator of anybody, and then of course you can also do work for them. So if you're on the city council and you're a part of that regulation of your utilities, I don't think that you should be a part of a law firm that does work for the regulator, for the person that you're regulating, though.
Another thing, they giving the politicians money to run for office and stuff. That's something else they need to stop, too.
And Entergy does give a lot of campaign contributions. They also wine and dine a lot of these politicians in the Entergy suite for the Saints games, for the Pelicans games, for concerts that come to town. I mean, they are, for Essence Festival, they are consistently providing tickets to some of these politicians, and I mean, sweet tickets, but to some of these politicians and their family members.
Yep. And
that's a perk.
We need to find out who's getting these tickets and stuff and expose them. That'll stop that. That'll stop that. But
I always find it interesting when I go to Essence to walk through the suites upstairs to see who's in whose suite, who's a guest at whose suite. It's always a very educational moment to see who's getting these perks and who they're getting them from.
Well, and some of the mayors, they said one of the councilmen used to work for Energy, and he's the councilman at large. You
talking about JP?
That's the one I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The one who
and still has a law firm job that does work for them.
Huh?
And still part of a law firm job. And I mean, it's still part of a law firm. And from what I understand, from what we've read, this law firm has done work for Entergy.
Well, that's how you're right there. I'm see how the other ones vote. That's how I'm gonna vote too.
But I do think that we talk about who we want to talk about, and we don't say nothing to those that are playing the game.
Just still calling them up.
So I just pulled up this stat: $923,475 Entergy gave in campaigns donations last year.
Wow. All right, we got to take our break, Donald. I appreciate you, boss.
All right, that's $1 million now.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
I'll talk to you in a minute. All right, y'all. More coming up, y'all. We got to take our break.
Hey everybody, it's Graylin Bryant Banks
and Kimber White Dupree
from the front porch.
Some convos are too good to miss. Now you can pull up a chair to the front porch anytime.
Just search WBOK Media and subscribe to the Front Porch Podcast.
Download, share, and hit us with a 5-star rating because New Orleans culture deserves to be heard loud and clear.
This Saturday, March 28th, join Dillard University for the 18th Annual Health, Housing, and Wellness Fair from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the Dillard University campus. Receive free prostate cancer testing, dental screenings, diabetes testing, plus free credit report and financial counseling. Learn about home buyer grants and home owners property insurance services and free legal resources. For more information, call Nick Harris at 504-473-1141. Dillard University, building a healthier community together.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton.
When it comes to family planning, should you go with a will or a trust?
A will is like leaving instructions to the court. It tells them who gets what, but your family still has to go through a succession, which can be costly and time-consuming.
A trust, on the other hand, avoids court altogether. So when the time comes, everything transfers smoothly to your loved ones.
It's a little more work up front, but way less hassle and expense later. Plan smart, save time, and take care of your family.
This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
A careless driver can change your life in an instant. Do you know what to do or who to call? If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident and do not have an attorney, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free consultation. We can answer all of your questions and estimate the potential value of your case. Call Auto Accident Help Desk and connect with an expert personal injury attorney.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
Don't worry how to handle your medical bills, lost wages, and pain. We will get you the money you deserve.
They got me way more than the insurance company offered.
The consultation is free, and you do not pay any legal fees unless we win or settle your case. Make the smart call. If you've been injured in an auto accident, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free legal consultation.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
WBOK. Listen now on WBOK1230.com.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Our number 504-582-9422. That's 504-582-9422. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we're going to have a conversation with the folks over at the Vault. They are going to call in just to give somebody the ideas of what we're going to do them for Saturday night. They're going to lay it out. We don't even know.
We don't know. I can't wait to hear.
So the young lady that runs everything over at the Vault is going to call us about 5 o'clock just to give us the insight on what we can expect this weekend and all the folks that's coming to the party on Saturday night from 8 to 12 over at the Vault, 501 Verrett Street. It is the birthday parties for one, Suzette Banaris. Ooh, 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 ooh. And, of course, yours truly, Gerard Stevens. Ooh, 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 ooh. We will be in the house. It's the all-white party. What did Dr. Shepard say Monday? Only white people?
Yeah, that's what he said. I don't know.
That is not true. It's you wear your white. Right. Wear your white. If y'all can do it for Frankie Beverly, y'all can do it for us. Because we local too. So come on. Let's have an old school party like it used to be. And DJ Polo 504 is going to be on the ones and twos.
Absolutely.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I just wanted to throw this out there. You know, it's really been bothering me about this whole thing with TSA and ICE being at the airport and looking at all these stories about what the airport looks like and the delays and the poor TSA people not getting paid. And 1 minute they're getting paid, the next minute they're not getting paid because of a shutdown. And so it made me do a little research, do a little dive. So I did a dive into what Project 2025 says about TSA. And Project 2025 calls for the abolishment of TSA, but it's not supposed to happen overnight. They are trying to expand privatization of airport screening. They want to reduce the federal TSA workforce over time, shifting more responsibility to private contractors. And this aligns with their long-standing conservative policy position that airport security should be handled more efficiently by private companies under federal oversight. In other words, there's some billionaire in the wings that wants that contract to provide private security. So what they're doing is they're making it hard for these TSA workers. They want them to quit. Right now, they're using some ICE agents to participate in screening at some of these Democratic City airports right now. And under Project 2025 style reforms, you could see a complete overhaul of TSA into being a private company handling that service. So this comes as no surprise. I looked it up. This was a Project 2025 campaign promise.
Mm-hmm. Let's take Miss M. Hey, Miss M. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Gerard.
Yes.
This is Miss M. I haven't called in a while, but I listen every day.
Well, thank you much.
And I'm calling since we're talking about gentrification, I want to let you know that this takeover, and it's going to be a takeover from Baton Rouge and the administration, and this issue that you brought up about the senior citizen building on LaSalle. Don't be surprised if you have some more attempts to take over that whole area, and I'm talking about that whole area from LaSalle Street, Claiborne, Malpamine, all of that area, because they've made some attempts before. Baton Rouge wants that area. You've got Amtrak there. You've got the Dome on the other side. You got the Smoothie King Center on the other side. And they are going to take that whole swath of land with Amtrak in the middle, with the transportation from New Orleans to Baton Rouge.
And that's supposed to be the high-speed rail?
Helena Moreno has already sold us out to Baton Rouge, so they've got their eyes, the administration, on Central City. Think about that area, even that big church right next to the bridge. Keep your eye on that area and the future use that Baton Rouge is going to come in and take it over. Mm-hmm. That money that we got from Baton Rouge to run the city, they're going to run us in the ground with that. Now, this is Miss M speaking to you. I thank you, Gerard Stevens and Suzette Bagnaris, and the reality show for piquing our thoughts, probing our minds, and making us think. But when we talk about gentrification, you look toward that spot of land that I'm telling you about, that the governor wants to control. New Orleans is the golden goose, and that swath of land, you watch what I'm telling you. On the other side, you have dilapidated buildings, black people with no power, and they're going to take it over. So I'm just, I might be maybe a member of the conspiracy theory myself.
I think you're right. When Cynthia Wiggins first started saying that we're having that problem, that's what I thought.
They couldn't do it because you publicized it. But there was some talk about that about 5 years ago, taking over that area all the way to Melpomene, Claiborne, and that little area there where the Home Depot is. You watch what I'm telling you. That 504 venue that they put there wasn't put there for nothing. It was very quiet, wasn't it? You didn't hear anything. First, he tried over there in New Orleans East to block what's happening over there, and he couldn't get that. So you watch that 504 there. It's going to be in the middle of that whole SWAT. So thank you for hearing an old lady speak.
All righty. Thank you, Miss M. Appreciate you, dear.
Okay.
I think she raises an excellent point. When Cynthia Wiggins first started saying that we're having problems with, people trying to push them to shut down, I immediately said that's prime real estate. Somebody wants that property. And you even talked about the view, from the Gus high rise and how beautiful it is, how it overlooks the city. I'm telling you, I think they want that property. And they're going to start pushing people out of that property because they want it.
So let's go back a little bit. Let's just go back for a little bit. I can go back and listen. And I'll be the first one to tell you, I am not born and raised here, but I know that as I look around and see what we've come from to what we are now, there is a whole lot of stuff that makes me go something different here. And one of those things that I saw happen is a lot of those buildings on Canal Street, ended up being buildings that used to help folks. You could go in and do different things, to luxury apartment buildings. And those luxury apartment buildings are empty. And they wouldn't even use those folks to house people when they needed to be housed. They left them empty because they were considered too good for the folks that were on the street to come in there, and they didn't want to mess them up. So, all right, we'll take a break here. We'll come back in just a few minutes. Everybody hold tight. News is up next.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Southern California shelters are overloaded after authorities seized more than 300 animals from a Lake Hughes property. Officials say 250 dogs and 66 cats were kept in awful conditions.
Hoarding conditions, they were unsanitary, there was dogs living in cages, there was feces everywhere.
Local shelters now urgently need adopters to make room. The Supreme Court takes up a challenge to a former U.S. policy that turned away asylum seekers at the Mexican border. First launched under President Obama and expanded under Trump, it ended in 2021, but President Trump calls it a critical tool for handling migrant surges. And the Trump administration has launched 2 new federal investigations into Harvard over alleged race-based admissions preferences and anti-Semitism. The move follows a recent DOJ lawsuit, and Harvard now has 20 days to comply or face enforcement. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Coming up in a few minutes, you're going to be hearing a young lady that's going to call in and give us all the details from our venue that we're having the big birthday party celebration on Saturday. They'll be calling in from the vault in just a few minutes. But T-Bone, you've been holding on. What's going on, man?
Hey, good evening, y'all. Wick, G,
What's happening?
Counselor, anybody else that I missed. You know, we've been talking about this for a minute. We've been talking about the way the gentrification was planned, going all the way back to in the midst of Katrina. They just couldn't wait to get rid of the project, couldn't wait for poor black folks to get out so that they can revamp parts of the city, trying to set up green spots, knock over buildings that they thought were eyesores and all this and all that. Here's the thing. The only difference with what they had on the drawing board as opposed to what actually happened is they didn't expect black folks to come back. They expected us to stay where we were or die off. They did not expect different black folks to come back. And so we've complicated things. We've stretched their timeline, and we've actually fought for some of the properties that we're talking about here. I mean, look at what's going on with Bayou Phoenix. There really isn't much in the East. I'm sorry. I know you stay out there, G. It's no offense to you. No offense to anybody that's still out there in the East. But honest to God, it has lost this shimmer from back in the day. It was considered the black suburb. You had middle class, upper class blacks out there owning property, patronizing the area. And now you have a shadow of what it used to be. And then now you have a business that's trying to set up shop out there. The few residents that's there is being a fly in the ointment to them. You have different buildings throughout the town. Think about this a second, folks. You have restaurants and banks closing constantly in this city. Restaurants and banks. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that you don't even have enough business for an eatery, much less a bank, to continue to thrive in this part of the city. That should tell you the economic picture. I mean, if we're still that city that attracts so many people here, whether it be for tourism or whether it be to stay and live as a resident, we should not have the economic problems we have.
T-Bone, what bank shut down in the East? What bank shut down in the East? Region?
No, I'm saying different parts of the city. I've seen right here on Carrollton. Well, I'm sorry, not Carrollton, on Canal. I've seen Whitney shut up shop. I've seen who is this? First National, First Bank, Home First, some other ones. 3 different banks in one area, and they can't stay open. I've seen eateries close after a year or two that can't thrive in this city. And these are not, the stuff we grew up with, mind you. Stuff like po' boy shops and places that sell seafood. These are different types of restaurants, and they're not staying open. Schools being constantly closed. Now, my friend hit me to this. Tell me if you know about this, Counselor, because you talk about real estate all the time. He said that schools are primed for real estate because they have everything in them already. They have the plumbing set. They have the electrical set. All you have to do is renovate the inner rooms, and you got a condo. You got apartments.
Well, the Orleans Parish School Board has been selling off assets, and with no accountability for that.
Right. And my old school, which used to be McDonald 31, then it got turned into Morris Jeff, got turned into a condo. It still flips my lid when I drive past that school. The portables that I went to kindergarten in, gone. The little lunch area we used to play out in before getting into the cafeteria, gone. somebody is living in the principal's office. You know what I'm saying? And in the back where we had recess, they dropped 3 or 4 houses, sound so-called cookie cutter houses. I mean, if you think that this city is what it used to be, I challenge you to look around town. If you are 20 or 30 years older.
Well, all you have to do is go to a second line and see who's there. And you will realize this city is not what it used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it is changing dramatically. And we're being outpriced. It's getting so high that the cost of living is so high that the average person cannot continue to live here because the wages are not going up, but the cost of living are.
Right. The economic situation as a whole is not getting better. Businesses are not pitching tent here. Big businesses are not trying to bring commerce here. So where's the money coming from, y'all? The residents.
And we're not seeing the same type of business growth that other cities are seeing. I mean, we're not getting Fortune 500s coming here.
No, because we continue the same messed up practices here. We still have politicians, maybe not the same names, but the same practices. You still have politicians putting their hand out to get grease before somebody could get a permit, before somebody could go ahead on and renovate a building,
T-Bone.
before somebody can buy stuff.
T-Bone, I bought a building in Jefferson Parish in December. I was able to get all my permits, all my inspections, renovate the building, and the business is opening next week. Now, you know I couldn't do that in Orleans Parish.
Yes, indeed.
I would still be waiting on permits. Called to get my final inspection, and they came within 24 hours in Jefferson Parish.
Yeah. Bad business practice. We are historically known for it. And I tell this story all the time. I've told this to G a number of times on this program. When I worked for GE, I heard the whispers. And they would say, oh, they're going to get pissed off about this. Well, we better do that. And, oh, yeah. But, see, they don't know how to do business here. And they do so much crooked stuff. And when I got interviewed for the job, for an IT job, they said, well, you have a usual resume. We don't normally see people with these qualifications here. I say, how hard have you looked? And I said that, but I realized why he said that. Because the qualified people are not staying here. The educated people who are in certain industries like IT are not staying here. I can't tell you how many times I get called every week to relocate by my buddies, by other companies that's trying to get me to come out there. It's hard, though. I'm in my 50s. I can't just relocate like I could in my 20s and 30s. I can't. And that's what they're preying upon. You know, people that are my age or in their 40s that really will have trouble relocating.
Well, I don't know that you would have trouble relocating, T-Bone, because what I'm seeing, and now, because I'm going to be 58 this weekend, right? Next weekend.
God bless.
I'm finding it easier to move to Houston than to be in New Orleans. There's more housing. It's a buyer's market.
Yeah.
You know, it's cheaper.
You don't have the headache with utilities. You don't have the headache with infrastructure.
Right. It's cheaper. There's more amenities connected to every neighborhood. More transportation options if I didn't want to drive. I mean, you know, it seems to be easier to relocate. And really, I have a lot of colleagues who are Black who are moving to Portugal. They are getting out of the U.S. altogether and moving to Portugal and other places where they're able to live like millionaires off of, you know, $200,000, $300,000.
I'm going to tell you like the natives say here. Baby, my wife been trying to get me to move out this country and become an expatriate for decades.
I have friends who are moving to Jamaica. You know, I mean, they really are moving out of the country because the cost of living is better and they can make their money stretch more. and live a less stressful lifestyle. The more people are learning how to make their jobs remote, where they don't have to go into an office and they can move virtually, the more willing they are to pick up and start over somewhere else. And I mean, these are people who are in their 50s making these decisions to move abroad.
Yeah, but see, most times they're looking to sell down and retire in their 50s and 60s. They're not looking to stay here to work, and they're not looking to go somewhere else to work.
Right.
Let me give you this last thing, and I'm gonna drop off and listen. I know a number of Africans staying here, of different nationalities of Africa. Nigerians, my wife's a Kenyan. I know people from Liberia, whatever. They're not talking about retiring here in New Orleans. They won't go back home and live well because the money that they make here, they take back home and they live well. They can still make money, open businesses, buy land off of what they made here. So why should they stay? Governor Landry, Mayor Moreno, really? But you're not interested in us staying. You're interested in y'all staying. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, y'all.
All right, T-Bone.
All right, peace.
All right. Young lady that is going to be responsible for all the festivities this weekend, we asked her to be a part of the conversation on today, and she's on the line with us, and we definitely want to get her insight. So, Miss Felicia?
Yes, hi.
Thank you for holding so long. I'm sorry.
Evening.
How you doing?
Oh, no problem. That was an interesting conversation y'all were having before me. So I was just listening in.
Yes, indeed. A lot of folks that have been, I got these calls. I don't know if Suzette is getting some of these calls, but are you finding that people are still trying to find or have just found that the vault is there?
Yes, and we have been here going on 3 years in June.
Is it 3 years?
So, yeah. So I actually started with the vault last year as social media and marketing manager. So we're finally getting our social media presence up, and people are starting to recognize that we're there. They're coming. Of course, we have Saturday and Sunday brunch. And we're doing your party coming up here Saturday, right?
Okay, I got kind of hype.
Yes, we're having your party. And Mr. B said you think you're Frankie Beverly coming with your all white.
I told him, I said, hey, if everybody can do it with their all white party, I said, what's wrong with us doing it? We the home people.
Yeah, the home people. We love the home crowd. And it's you and Suzette?
Yep.
Saturday?
Yep. She right here.
Oh, well, yes, of course. Hi, Suzette. We can't wait to celebrate you guys this Saturday. And it's going to be a beautiful event, of course. And I guess everybody's coming out. Of course, they're going to have the full-service bar. The Chef Kevin and Chef Mike are going to be cooking and having your chicken and fish and red beans, and we're just going to have a good time. And of course, DJ Polo is going to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the vault, we do that too. We do private events,
right?
Of course, but we also on Saturdays and Sundays, we're one of the only places that actually offers large group reservations with no problem, where you don't have to go and do a private room setting. You can just say for Saturday brunch, you call, of course you have to book a reservation. But if you have 40 people for brunch that you want to bring in, we're open to that type of reservation too. We're big on groups, and we welcome large groups for even brunch, our brunch time.
But tell us about the brunch. I mean, what does that consist of?
So, of course, our brunch is Saturday and Sunday. We have a DJ, and sometimes we have, so DJ Act Right will be there. Then we'll have, like, on some Sundays, we have DJ Kobe, DJ Brozia, he's entertainment. He sings and he DJs. So it's a nice little vibe, and everybody loves that. But our brunch is, of course, an open brunch. It's open to everyone. We have brunch buffet. It's a buffet. And one of the best we've gotten, that they say, one of the best meals that you can have, because it's like this home cooking style food. So we have the fish, the chicken, we'll have prime rib, a gumbo station. We have a fruit and salad and dessert room that's set up beautifully. And people can come on our IG page, the Vault Nola 504, and see, because I post everything. I have pictures. We love to acknowledge our guests. And the brunch is from 11 to 4. Now, there are 2-hour seating times, though. So if you come in for 11, of course, that's 2 hours, 11 to 1, 1 to 3. But we take our last seating at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
But yeah, it's beautiful, and if anybody, I would welcome people to come and just experience it one time, because once you've experienced it, you realize how nice and beautiful the place is, because the vault is in a historic building in Algiers Point. It used to be Whitney Bank, and the original vault is still in the building, and it's used right now. People love to take pictures in it because it's set up really pretty. With the flowers, and people love to just take their either selfies or just some snapshots in the vault. And of course, the vault also still has some of the original artifacts in the building for me being a historic building.
In 2024, I hosted my husband's Big Shot dinner at the Vault Nola.
Really?
And the Big Shots from Zulu had a time. They all enjoyed taking pictures inside of the vault. And
so you got the Zulu Big Shots to come from Zulu class?
Yes, they all took pictures inside that vault holding money bags. And every Mardi Gras, each of them is posting that picture as their picture on social media. So they had a time. They enjoyed the food. They enjoyed the premium drinks, the layout. Miss Millie took care of us personally, made sure the menu was curated just for them. And it was a great experience, to go to an elevated, Black-owned, culturally rooted luxury space is great.
Yes, elevated, Black-owned, family-owned. And people are so surprised when they walk in, because you can't do too much to the outside because it's a historic building. So you can only do so much. But once you walk in, people are just so surprised how beautiful it is on the inside. And Mr. B and Miss Millie, Mr. Barry, did such a wonderful job with renovating the place.
Absolutely.
And it has the second level too. That's for more intimate settings. But if, say, a wedding reception was there, the bride could use that upper level. It has a dressing room. It's beautiful, even a shower, everything. And they've had little private dinner settings up there as well. People can do that. So, it's just a versatile place with a touch of elegance that, like you said, is a Black-owned business, and we just need everybody to know that they're there. And parties like yours, Gerard and Suzette, we know that they are going to have a wonderful time. They want to stop through and see how beautiful the place is and how well set up it's going to be. And you guys, like you said, the drinks are going to be flowing. The bar is going to be open. The food is going to be fabulous because Chef Kevin and Chef Mike do their thing in the kitchen. So it's really going to be a beautiful event.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. We're definitely excited about it, and I got to tell you, y'all treat me like I'm important.
Well, they say you family. They say y'all family.
They treat me like I'm important, so I can't complain because I said something about some chicken wings the last time. I think, well, no, that was last year. I said something about some chicken wings. And next thing I know, Barry walking through the daggone restaurant, through the area, bringing the thing of chicken wings.
And the food at the vault is so good. It is so good. It's piping hot. It's authentic. It's not something like people pretending to be New Orleanians.
Right.
This is really authentic food.
Right.
It is so good.
And I love the chef stations. The chef stations, they cook it right there in front of your face.
Right, so that's what the made-to-order omelets and stuff are on the bar. So for the breakfast bar, they're made-to-order omelets, waffles, pancakes. So of course you're seeing them right there cooking the food right in front of you.
Yep.
And then of course with the gumbo, they do say that's you know how sometimes when you go to restaurants and you feel like, oh, this isn't really gumbo. Even in New Orleans, sometimes you can go to a restaurant downtown and the gumbo doesn't taste like a homemade gumbo.
Mm-hmm.
No, but the gumbo at the vault really does taste like gumbo should taste. So,
I'm going to say it like
yes.
Juan LaFonta said it. You putting weenies in the gumbo?
No, something is wrong.
Yes, indeed. There ain't going to be no weenies in the gumbo. I can tell you that, too.
No wieners in the gumbo. It is a seafood
Now, let's
gumbo,
talk about the bar. Let's talk about the bar. This is going to be the bar. The bar. This is where you get your drink on.
Yes, definitely. So, of course, we have what you're looking for. If you're looking for Top Chef, you got Top Chef. That's what's at our bar, and it's a full bar. You can whatever you need, whatever they want. That's what we're trying to provide, and we have some very professional bartenders.
And look, I'm telling everybody, come in ready to pop some bottles. Go to the bar.
Ready to pop bottles. Do whatever you want to do.
Right. They need to come over and start purchasing them bottles. Get them bottles. Let's pop some bottles. Let's do some toast. So
popping bottles, and if they feel like a shot, they can take a shot. Take some shots.
Very good.
We have whatever y'all need for that night. But yeah, so we look forward to you all coming, and we just look forward to more people coming and experiencing the vault, because once you're there, we try our best to treat you like family.
Mm-hmm.
And we have people who have just been coming back, and because of that feeling, and because they feel like, this is a nice environment, good vibes. That's what we try to keep it, good vibes always, so that you feel like home and you feel like coming back, and you get that authentic New Orleans hospitality. And I know that some people I've heard people saying that our hospitality isn't the same anymore, but we're trying to keep that way. And we don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
So we want people to come to the vault, experience this beautiful Black-owned business, and enjoy themselves, and just keep coming back. That's what we're looking for. Just keep coming back.
Yeah, I'm hoping that you will be there so that we can
Yes,
do
I
the
look
toast.
forward to being there.
Yep,
and
very
meeting you both. And I hope that it is everything that you expect it to be. And like Suzette said, they enjoyed themselves when they had the Big Shots event.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we try to bring it every time.
Very
so
good.
We're hoping that you all enjoyed it.
All right,
this
I'm coming
Saturday.
empty stomach.
Ready to party.
That's
Ready
where
to
we come
party.
in.
Yes.
There it
Thank
is.
you so much. And we thank Miss Millie and Mr. Barry for the opportunity to showcase the best of the vault on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the who's
and
who
I'll
of the
be
city
there taking
coming. They
pictures.
coming.
Yes, thank you.
All
And
right.
we appreciate y'all.
We'll see you
Thank
Saturday,
so
Miss
much.
Felicia. Thank you so much here.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Galloway, hold on. We coming back. We got to take a break here. We'll take the break here and we'll come back. More in just a minute.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by FidelityInvestments.com. Lion Forge Entertainment is an Academy Award-winning Black-owned film studio that focuses on diverse stories. The company is working on several new projects aimed at younger audiences, and Lion Forge founder and CEO David Stewart II says you might be surprised where he's seeing opportunities with Gen Z.
In some ways, some of this stuff is actually kind of coming full circle. I was just circulating with our team some articles that have just come out around Gen Z going back to the movies, and that's their new interest point right now. So yes, YouTube is growing, and a lot of eyeballs are going there to kind of find content, but they want to go to the movies because they want this unique experience that they haven't really had, because they've had the screens in front of them all the time. They've had that on-demand content. So, it's interesting how things are kind of coming full circle.
Lion Forge Entertainment won its Oscar for short film Hair Love, a story about a black father learning to style his daughter's hair for the first time. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Want consistent color for every job? Milo's Pro Rewards members get a 20% paint discount on future purchases after paint annual qualifying spend reaches $3,000. Plus, order eligible in-stock paint and paint supplies by 2 p.m. for free same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Improving is easy at Lowe's. Excludes spray paint and mist tints. More exclusions, terms, and conditions apply. Subject to change. Details at Lowe's.com/terms. Same-day delivery valid in select zip codes. Subject to driver availability. Details at Lowe's.com/same-day delivery.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
The excuses have run out. In New Orleans, the failures of the Sewerage and Water Board are no longer occasional. They are, in fact, routine. Another major water line erupts, streets flood, property is damaged, and the response is as predictable as the failure itself. Explanations, deflections, and promises. We have heard it all before. Let's be clear. This is not bad luck. This is not unforeseen. This is what happens when a critical public system is allowed to decay in full view of those responsible for maintaining it. Pipes more than a century old are bursting beneath our streets. A power system built on outdated technology continues to falter. And a governance structure split between city and state has created the perfect environment for one thing above all else: a lack of accountability. Because when everyone is in charge, no one is in charge. We saw the warning signs in 2017. When a summer rainstorm overwhelmed a crippled drainage system. We saw it again during Hurricane Ida, when failure of the power system nearly led to catastrophe. We've lived through boil water advisories, cyber attacks, and the looming threat of saltwater intrusion. And now we are watching the ground beneath us literally give way. So the question must be asked, not politely, but directly. Just who the hell is responsible? Is it the leadership of the Sewerage and Water Board? Is it the mayor who leads the Utilities Board? Is it the governor and the state of Louisiana, which maintains control over this hybrid agency? Or is it all of the above? Because the people of New Orleans are paying the price in damaged homes, disrupted lives, and rising rates for a system that no longer delivers the most basic of public services: water, drainage, safety. This is not complicated. What is required now is not another study, not another promise, not another press conference with catchy phrases of concern. What is required is action, decisive, coordinated, and immediately. Full transparency, a clear chain of command, and a timeline the public can see and hold accountable. Anything less is simply managing decline. And in a city like New Orleans, where water is both a fact of life and a constant threat, managing decline is just not responsible. It is dangerous. So here is the bottom line. If this system fails again, and it will, no one should be allowed to say they didn't see it coming. The warning signs are no longer beneath our streets. They are erupting through them. And this time, the responsibility will not wash away with the water. So y'all come up with a plan, and damn it, do something with it. This is Norman Robinson off the top.
Hey y'all, make sure you tune in on Thursdays at 12:30 p.m. for the Roux with Chef Bunny, sponsored by Blue Plate Mayonnaise on WBOK 12:30 a.m.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Well, Saints of God, this is Pastor David Impartan Sr. coming to you over the airways of WBOK, your favorite host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want to invite you to our show every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. That's Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want you to invite your family and friends to a broadcast that's designed to change your life, the way you think, the way you act, and what you eat. We want you to tune in every Saturday at 1 o'clock, WBOK, 12:30 a.m. See you on Saturday.
Come celebrate the history, legacy, and culture of the African diaspora with the Congo Squares Rhythm Festival presented by the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation on March 28th and 29th in Louis Armstrong Park. Don't miss 2 full days of live musical performances featuring Chawa, Zigaboo Modaliste, Big Sam's Funky Nation, and many, many more. A variety of food vendors, handmade works of art, and the return of the highly anticipated Class Got Brass competition. This event is free and open to the public. For more information, visit CongoSquareRhythms.com.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Suzette Bagnaris, the attorney extraordinaire. Gerard Stevens with you on the best day. What is it? What should I call it? This is like pre-best day.
Pre-best day?
Pre-best day.
Okay, pre-best day.
There we go. Galloway.
What's good with y'all, man?
You holding on, brother, man. Let me apologize, brother. I just had a whole bunch going on at the same time. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. No need to apologize, man. Thank y'all for taking my phone call. No, I'm sitting here doing my homework, man. Mississippi, they messed around and let a list of 67 Klansmen names out. So part of my job for the Black Press is to identify, see who's still alive, and trace whatever I can find out of these people. So I've been busy myself for the last few days. So.
Oh, wow.
Wait, give us that again. Mississippi identified 65 Klansmen?
Yeah, they found a actual blue suitcase. They moving one department to another department. And they found this suitcase, and it actually had the list of Ku Klux Klan members, their dues, and other stuff like how you set up a Klan meeting and who they were spying on.
Oh, wow.
It's an interesting book. Yeah. So some of these, the names, a lot of them last names are like a lot or not Rumsfeld, Broomfield. It's some common names around there that'll make you just scratch your head. And some of these people may be still alive. So I'm tasked with finding out what I can find out from, some of them people ain't afraid to say that they was Klan and they was Klan strong. But this was a police building where this was at.
Wow.
Mississippi, I think it was not Homeland Security, Department of Public Safety.
Are we talking about back in the day, or are we talking about folks like right now?
They just found the names inside of a police station.
These come from the 60s, from like 1964 to 67, right when they was doing Mississippi burning, at the height of the civil rights movement. But some of those guys was only like in their 20s.
Wow.
So some of them are still alive. Like one, I think it's Byron Dela Beckwith. That's the one who shot Medgar Evers, his son.
Right.
Said the list is, he old Klansman. He said the list is authentic. Every name is in there. So, but it's so poorly written, they can't write that well. So you got to really make it out. It's in cursive, and cursive is very sloppy. But I've been able to make out a couple of names, and 2 of them are actually still surviving. The one guy's family wants to talk. I guess they want to try to set the record straight of what he did do and didn't do.
For those Klan-related documents to be discovered within a police station, that really drives home the historical ties between law enforcement in the South and white supremacist groups.
Yes, very much so. Because you got to remember, you had 18 members of the Knights of Ku Klux Klan, which their charter comes from Louisiana. They got their charter from Louisiana to start in Mississippi.
Right.
But 18
it was just like the women's organization. What's the name of that women's organization, Galloway, where they were the Daisy somethings or
You mean the Daughters of the Confederacy?
The Daughters of the Confederacy. They had like two different branches to branch off from the Daughters of the Confederacy. If I'm not mistaken, am I right in saying that they also too were developed here in Louisiana?
Yes, you are correct. Yes, Louisiana was like really ground zero after Tennessee when it comes to the Klan. It went from Tennessee to Louisiana, then it went to Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, and then Texas came on the tail end of it.
And let's not forget that one of the grand wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, which was what's his name, David
Duke.
David Duke is in Louisiana.
Yes.
and that was not in the 50s and 60s that we're talking about. He ran for governor and almost won, and that in itself is a shameful thing to have to say.
Oh, if you look at the map, doing the initial primary, David Duke came in second.
Yep.
Or third. Yeah, he was way up there. That was remember Norman Robinson, and I remember the debate that was in '92 when he had that debate with David Duke. And remember, David Duke came to, it was either Xavier or Dillard, and it was just pandemonium because they didn't want him to come to that HBCU. But this is the crazy thing. He did come to the HBCU and speak, but LSU would not let him speak the college that he graduated from.
Well, I don't know if you remember this, but he also came to Dillard.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was Dillard then. Yeah, okay. I couldn't remember it was Dillard or Xavier, but
yeah, it was Dillard.
He came there.
And actually they had it was a real issue at Dillard because the students were going to come into the George's auditorium and protest that he would come there, and the security was told that they had to block him, so the kids couldn't get nowhere near the building or in the building.
I remember campaigning when David Duke ran against Governor Edwards on St. Charles Avenue with a sign saying, "Vote for the crook, it's important."
Yeah, because I'll never get when Norman Robinson said, basically was saying, both of y'all are horrible, but I'm afraid that, David Duke would win. And it was just such a time in Louisiana. And for this list to come out and these names, I mean, they had how much the dues was $5, and some of them were so poor they could only afford $3. So they were saying John James, he owed $3, he didn't pay, and it was so crazy that they would let this come out to public, and I guess they thought they were all dead. Now that they're realizing that these people ain't dead, these folks are trying to reach.
Right.
Like my grandpa ain't have nothing to do with this now, you know.
Right. But you know what this reminds you of? This reminds you of when they found out the Nazis that were still alive that were killing a part of Hitler's organization, his army, that were killing the Jews, and they found out that a lot of them were still alive and living over here.
Yes. You had some living in the United States, and you had a lot of them living in Argentina.
Right.
So my thing is, I talked to the Cheney family. Ben Cheney, remember the Cheney, James Cheney was lynched by the Klansmen.
Okay.
The guy who owned the dam, he just recently died, I think in like 2013 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he would brag about how he would tell them folks that he had enough room to bury 100 people. And he acted like he had no idea that the Klan had used his land. And until that man dying day, they tried to bring charges up on him, but the state and the federal government wouldn't do it. So it's a tough, long road to get these folks to get in court. But when it's around election time, so something might happen. You never know. Somebody's name on that list, you might see them with maybe an indictment or somebody or case that will open back up where somebody's loved one was lynched and hung. Because you got to remember, doing the looking for the 3 civil rights workers, they found other black bodies in those different lakes and rivers and stuff that were hung and shot and killed. They don't know who did it.
Well, remember, even when you go back to Mississippi and you start talking about Medgar Evers was missing, and then they had the green station wagon. They shot and killed them in the station wagon and buried the station wagon. And that's how they found him and a couple other folks. You really need to hear the story when Mr. Smith comes in and talks about how it was when they were talking about, the burning of the bus and all of those folks that were the Freedom Riders, and then, of course, Medgar Evers. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I may be speaking out of turn here, and I hope everybody forgive me if it's not true. But I think that a couple of folks here were supposed to be in that green station wagon with the Freedom Riders and Medgar Evers.
Just for the benefit of our younger listeners, there's a documented history showing that at certain times, especially in the late 1800s and early to mid 1900s, that there was a strong connection between the Ku Klux Klan and law enforcement in parts of the South. After the Civil War, the Klan was formed to resist Black political participation, federal Reconstruction policies, and in some areas, local law enforcement either ignored Klan violence against Black people or was sympathetic to it. During segregation, the laws themselves were enforced, with racial inequality, and members of the Klan were also police officers. So there was a blurred line between law enforcement and racial control. And during the civil rights era, you would see a lot of policemen in the South that were violently controlling peaceful protesters. And they were arrested and faced violence and harassment. So
I guess we got to stop saying they were.
Well, yeah, they still are.
Because they still are. Look at what happened with ICE.
But finding these documents, within that police station, it just further supports the tie between law enforcement in the South and the Klan and racial inequality.
I got to thank our morning man, Will, because Will sent me the link to that, so I got to check that out. Thanks, Will.
Yeah, and you got to remember, in that suitcase, it was actually a full Klan robe with the hood in there. So that thing has probably been sitting there since 67, 68. It probably was a list that they didn't want nobody to find. And then when they opened it up, they probably, I'm just guessing, they opened this thing up in front of somebody that they weren't supposed to open it up in front of.
Right.
And when somebody seen it, hold on, what you got here? And now they're trying to say, it's we're going to study this in historical context. They probably sit there on the phone right now or looking at everybody. Hey, look, this your grandpa. You might want to tell him to, be in a nursing home, don't say nothing.
Right.
You got a lot of unsolved crimes, man. But y'all was talking today, which a great conversation about this gentrification stuff. And I was so shocked. I'm still sometimes got to pinch myself and realize that Helena Moreno is the mayor of New Orleans. What stopped all these other cities from being gentrified was the power of the Black vote. Now, the vote in New Orleans, no, she did not get the majority of the Black vote. She got enough. And then she got that 70 to 80% of all of the white vote.
Right.
She got so many Black politicians and Black lawyers, though, who were standing on her podium, supporting her. And I'm seeing that they're doing it again for this judicial candidate, Richard Perk. White guy running against a Black woman for a seat at Civil District Court. And every last one of these politicians who, says they're down for the Black community is on social media supporting them.
Cedric disappointed me the most. He was the poster boy for her. Troy, I'm not, don't get me started on him. But I was more disappointed to see Cedric sit up there and act like he was the puppet for that woman. Now, you see him, and y'all talking so many facts. Follow the money with this energy stuff. The city has sued Energy. Energy has sued the city council. They're playing with us. They're trying to get everybody out of this city. If we cannot flood them out, we cannot hurricane them out, we're going to sit there and make this property so high that you can't afford to live. And nobody on that city council is going to do a doggone thing. But news to you, JP Morrell, when they get finished with all the Black people that you think that they want out, they're going to turn around and come for you. That's what's going to happen to you. Leslie Harris, use another one. They're going to come for you. I'm telling you, all you Black politicians on that city council thinking that you won't be touched with this gentrification, they're not going to stop. We had one black city council. He's no longer.
Yeah.
Due to gentrification. Thanks for taking my call, brother. Y'all
all right, Galloway.
Thank y'all.
Well, holla. All right, more coming up, y'all. I'm going to give you the final facts for the day right after the commercial break. More coming up.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris. Chaos at airports around the nation as the government shutdown tied to the Department of Homeland Security is now hitting travelers where it hurts. Long lines, delays, and growing frustration. Passengers are being warned it could take more than 4 hours just to get through security. In New York, LaGuardia was briefly shut down after a deadly collision involving an aircraft and a fire truck, adding even more disruption to an already strained system. Behind the scenes, staffing issues. Thousands of TSA workers are either calling out, quitting, or altogether going without pay since funding lapsed in February. Reports indicate as many as 1 in 10 officers are not showing up, and more than 400 have already walked off the job, citing the inability to afford basic necessities like gas, rent, and childcare. In response, Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents have now been deployed to at least 14 airports across the country. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
Hoops, Heat, The Truth, on demand. Ball Don't Lie is now live on all podcast platforms. Tap in, search WBOK Media, find Ball Don't Lie, and bring the fire with you wherever you go. Download, share, and leave that 5-star review, because the game doesn't stop when the show ends.
The Ron Kelly Show. Real talk, bold truth. Tune in for your weekly dose of unapologetic conversations that don't dodge the truth or dilute the message. Stay informed on the issues that matter most on The Ron Kelly Show, every Monday at 7 p.m. on WBOK 1230 AM.
This is The Law and Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton. Comparing the cost of will, successions, and trusts.
A will might only be a few $100s, but your family could end up paying more in legal fees.
Trust costs more upfront, but saves time, stress, and potentially thousands.
Think of it as paying a little now to avoid a big bill later. Smart planning means big savings for your family. This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub-to-shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. Here's how it works. 1. Call to schedule your free, no-obligation consultation. 2. Our design experts come to you with real samples to customize your dream bath. 3. Our certified installers complete the transformation in as little as 1 day. And right now, for a limited time, you can upgrade your bathroom for 50% off installation or choose 18 months with no interest and no payments. But you need to call now. This special offer is only available by calling 800-981-8177. That's 800-981-8177. Call 800-981-8177 right now before the offer ends.
If someone asks,
Yeah!
let them know you listen to WBOK.
Here we go!
The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
We're back. Talking about credit.
We
Purchasing on credit.
2 minutes.
You know, I just want to say this.
2
Over
minutes
the last few weeks,
15 seconds.
we have been talking about some serious issues, from gentrification, how our neighborhoods are changing, how we're being pushed out further and further out from New Orleans, how we're seeing the cost of living rise, how we're seeing our utilities increase, the cost of living increase.
But what's the solution?
And we've also seen where they're trying to change laws to drive our black politicians out of this city.
Better pay attention, y'all.
Pay attention. There's a lot going on. It's not
In
happening
legislation
by accident.
right now.
Right, not happening by accident. So, we've got to stay vigilant. We've got to talk about these issues. And we've got to stay informed, stay involved, and stay connected.
Yeah. All right, Chuck, what's going on, man?
All right, be quick. That's something you was just talking about gentrification. That's what's happening, not just in New Orleans. That's what's happening in Atlanta, Georgia, right in the Atlanta University Center area of Morehouse, Spelman, Clark Atlanta, Morris Brown. That area has been gentrified.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And also what Galloway was just talking about, David Duke. I was in 11th grade in high school during the time when that election took place, when Edwin Edwards defeated him for governor when it went to runoff. And I remember Cleo Fields during the time in Baton Rouge. He had to he was getting people registered to vote. He even had to have they were giving free hot dogs and had the Southern University human jukebox marching band there to getting people registered. It was, we were laughing. It was really not fun, but it was just sad to hear that people were not even registered to vote during that time. And see, during that time, I was not old enough to vote yet. But I look at it now. I see that this year I'll be turning 51, and I remember this was back in 1991. People showed their true colors during that time, and you know what happened? David Duke wanted to move up this way. He wanted to not live in Monroe. He wanted to go across the river to Western Road, because Western Road is quite different from Monroe. Those people, he had a lot of support up here during that time. But Edwin Edwards ended up beating. Even George Herbert Walker Bush said he even put an announcement out there encouraging people to vote for Edwin Edwards.
And here's the thing, though. We remember those times and we talk about that like, oh my God, we've moved so far past it.
No, we haven't.
We're back there again.
Yeah, in the White House.
I never thought we'd be back there again, but we are there again, and now they're overtly racist.
Exactly. They don't hold back from anything, Ms. Bagneris. It's just they're showing who they are, and this guy is just going out there and thinking, you just go out there and just say it. They see him doing it, so, I can get out there and do it. And we're just seeing it's happening time and time again. It's getting even worse. And like I said, people have to wake up and see what's going on here in 2026.
Yeah, I cannot believe that we're there again. I talk about my daughters about these issues all the time.
Yes.
Because as young Black women, in the workforce, they're really struggling. My daughter, who's at U of H, is really struggling with the policies that they are implementing at the university, which are taking away DEI, controlling what she can study, controlling what she can teach. They've set up a hotline where students can report a teacher if they say something that's DEI related. These are the circumstances that professors are teaching in at state colleges around the country.
Yep.
You're exactly right. As I said, Gestapo tactics going on in higher education.
Yeah. Well, I know that if you're not paying attention to higher education and trying to learn your roots, the systems that they're coming up with now, with getting rid of DEI, and also let's get rid of all the conversation about what used to be in Black history. We're going to lose Black History Month, and we're going to lose a couple of other things here before it's all over with if we don't pay attention.
You're exactly right. That's why I look at it. Even HBCUs on these board of trustees that are being run, these governors in these states, they putting them on these boards of trustees. We've seen what's happening at Florida A&M and many others.
Right.
Yeah, those kind of people. They have people that are supportive of DeSantis. We've seen it in Texas with Greg Abbott, and right here in this state with Jeff Landry, and it is going on. And and that's what happened. It's not just having people thinking HBCU are away from all that, but I said, hey, it's going on there. They're infiltrated those campuses. I said that you're not going to have Louis Farrakhan and Al Sharpton and all these others that people want to hear coming on the campus. They want to get those people like we talk about Clarence Thomas, Byron Donalds, and many others that are coming on there with Shelby Steele, those kind of people that are coming on, Thomas Sowell. Those kind of people, they want to get those conservative-leaning people to come speak. And
All right, Chuck, we got to get out. My
I'm
friend,
get on out of here.
You much.
Stay
all right, you all take it. Have a great day.
You too, brother.
Keep your eyes on the ball.
Before we get out, got to say hello to Miss Howard, who is also taking a look and taking a listen to us on today. She is the director of the Mahalia Jackson school that we will be at on Tuesday.
Bringing those Easter baskets.
There you go.
Can't wait to see the kids.
Way
Thanks
to go, Miss Howard.
Come.
There you go. All right, y'all. That's going to wrap things up for us. We will see you on tomorrow, which is going to be one of them days, y'all. It's going to be a good day. That is the real day. We'll see you then. Everybody have a good day.